Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in the TeamSpeak Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open number 20. We have TT1 here in the top right, representing Team FnaticMSI as our blue Protoss. And in the bottom left, we have Zephyr representing Team Prime.we as our purple Zerg. We are going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns here. PvZ on this map is a little bit crazy. You know, this natural is so wide open with these really big entrances, this backdoor entrance as well, that it can make it pretty difficult for Protoss players to pull off fast expansions, though it does look like that's what TT1 is going to actually go for. But you can really create a lot of situations where zerging run-bys can be extremely effective. You have to be extremely careful with your building placement. Now, at the same time, Zephyr, of course, has to worry about the same thing. He has to worry about, you know, gateway aggression coming in from all sides. So he has to be very careful with his spine crawler placement at the natural.
All right, Orb, I'm confused. So, game 1, Metalopolis, TT1 goes Forge first, and oh man, we'll have to hold that thought because early pool again from Zephyr. Zephyr, he must be on to TT1's playstyle because, you know, TT1 opting once again for the fast expand on Xel'Naga, which is a map that does not favor fast expand. That is, I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. This is the most open natural you could ever ask for. But my question is why? Why does TT1 pick Xel'Naga? It's almost like what we just saw on Tal'Darim Altar for Zephyr.
It is a very strange decision. You know, I honestly can't answer that because as a Protoss player, I hate playing PvZ on this map, so I don't know what to tell you, but I did see an earlier game with TT1 on this map where when he started out with a Forge expansion and, you know, the opponent went for an early pool, or maybe it wasn't TT1, I'm trying to remember who it was, but he, instead of trying to defend that, since it's almost impossible, he just went straight back to the main and built a cannon in his main, sacrificed that Forge and pylon, but it looks like TT1's not going to do that. He dropped another pylon down at the natural. I feel like it's going to be really difficult for him to actually wall off and defend this area versus this early pool.
I don't see him defending this. The Blings are halfway across the map. The cannon's just now started. He's going to have to pull a bunch of probes to get that, to buy time for that cannon to finish, and there's only 2 down in the natural right now. This is a really tense moment. I'm so nervous. I really want TT1 to take this game. I want to see a Foreigner in the finals. But the Lings are closing in on the natural orb. Here come the probes. It's going to be so close.
The probes are just barely too late. He should have pulled this a little bit earlier. Now he's going to have to use the mineral glitch to get them through those zerglings. Should really be doing that. Wants to be mining on those minerals to the left. But it looks like Zephyr has just left. Oh my god, Zephyr with the huge mistake. Left all his zerglings on attack move there. Stuck in that little choke, not killing the cannon. Only killing like 1 probe at a time. Actually is going to allow TT1 to get his cannons up. That is insane.
Yeah, Zephyr should have focused the cannon. I mean, he focuses the cannon, then he runs past the probes, no problem. Yeah. But that's not what he did. Now he's going to try to run past. Oh, no!
Nice.
He's going to get right in there.
Yeah, TT1 should have just defended that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, in Brood War, we saw Forge expansions all the time. Now he's going to have to deal with this. And really, that happened all the time until Protoss players kind of realized in Brood War, wait a minute, I need to leave probes there at all times, blocking that until I have like a Zealot to block. Unfortunately, TT1, I guess, didn't watch Brood War, and so just left that area wide open, and assuming Zerglings wouldn't try to run by. So now he's going to have to make that cannon in the main. He's going to have to deal with these Zerglings, killing off his probes, getting full scouting information. He's going to lose a lot of mining time and probes here, so definitely not ideal for TT1 at all.
Honestly, some cute probe micro there by TT1, managing to keep more probes alive than I thought he would. He still has a little bit of a lead, but these Lings are going to continue to be annoying for, you know, until this cannon finishes, basically. And that's going to give Zephyr the time he needs to secure his natural. And if you look in the natural Protoss, there's nothing there. There's just a couple cannons and a forge. So TT1 will be able to expand here shortly, but he's not going to come out of this with a big lead like he would have hoped for. So I mean, Zephyr. I would say mission accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like, you know, with that mistake that he made earlier on, TT1 was in a great position. But unfortunately, with that probe pool, did actually allow those in. So now he's going to start the expansion, though. So TT1's not going to be too far behind. But that being said, I mean, Zephyr's is already complete. TT1's, you know, just starting. So, and also his gateway just starting now. I mean, that's so far behind on tech. What is that sound? I don't know what that feedback sound is in any case. Sorry about that, guys. But he's going to be pretty far behind in expansion and on tech, so that is going to give Zephyr a pretty good opportunity here to, you know, get himself a mid-game advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to go so far as to say that TT1 is way behind because his gateway is 75% complete. Zephyr's on 2 bases. There's literally 0 that TT1 can do to apply pressure. There's nothing. There's nothing in the. he could. I mean, he could pull probes and attack with those, but that's it. Zerg's completely
Set up like
safe.
a cannon rush.
Like honestly, Zerg can drone for the next 5 minutes, and there's nothing TT1 can do about it. Warp Gate is ages away. Stargate Tech is forever away. This is a really bad position for TT1.
Absolutely, and this is why going Forge Expand on this map is just a really risky thing to do. I think Zephyr can pretty freely take a third if he wants. That being said, he's not going to do that. He's going to go for the lair and add on quad gas. So you think he's just going to go straight to Muta like we saw in Game 1?
He could. I almost think that would be a mistake. If I were Zephyr, I would take a third right now, make like 70 drones, and then just make 100 roaches and go win.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think there's anything TT1 could do to stop that.
Yeah, I don't think there's either. And I honestly, on a map like this map is probably just not that good for mutas. There's just, you know, these minerals are kind of like up against the wall behind each base. There's not a lot of maneuverability. The bases are pretty close together, so it's not that hard to defend. So I don't think Muta would be the right choice. Maybe if he's going up the quad gas with a fast lair, you know, Infestors would be pretty nice on this map. But I completely agree with you that, you know, taking a third right now would be really smart for Zephyr. That being said, if you can make something work off of 2 base right now and abuse the fact that he's ahead on tech, he might be able to, you know, pull a win with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would even like to see Zephyr take the gold base, because it's just, I mean, like we've already established, there's nothing that TT1 can do. Look, Zephyr getting the Overlord Scout in at just the perfect time to see TT1 adding gateways. TT1 going to go up to 5, 6 gates and try to apply some 6-gate pressure, and it's just not going to work.
I'm so glad that Zephyr is going for a quick Roach Roar and Burrow.
Yeah, so
instead of Spire, because if he had gone for Spire and he just had to deal with the 6-gate again, we might just end up with a, you know, well, actually, Game 1 did end up working in Zephyr's favor, but you know what I mean? Like, 6-gate generally would be working against Muta, so I'm glad that he is going to go for the Burrow Roach style here. That should work out pretty well for him.
Zephyr taking that third base just now, really cutely keeping his drone safe from a Zealot by trying to make an extractor. That was clever. Man, God, TT1, why would you forge fast expand on Xel'Naga? So Zephyr's got Roach Speed started, Zephyr's got Burrow almost complete, and Zephyr's got 2 completely saturated bases. So on the production tab, we can see that he's just going to do nothing but make roaches until that third base finishes. And it's going to be on TT1 to somehow defend it. I mean, I'm grasping at straws trying to think of something TT1 can do here, but I don't have an answer. What do you do in this position?
You know, it's really tough. You have to try something cheesy, unfortunately. And when you're this far behind, you know, rushing up to DT off 2 base is a possibility, because, you know, if a Zerg just is a little bit too greedy, and, you know, Zephyr is getting himself an Overseer right now, but a lot of Zergs in this position, or, you know, DTs would already been in by now, you can actually kind of, you know, die to some stuff like that. A lot of people will try to go for that Stargate, but as you said, it would be behind, so you pretty much are forced to go something like double Stargate just to make it work when you're already behind. Going for 6-gate is an understandable transition as well, but it's just not going to work out for him. Look at all these Zealots. Look how many roaches there are from Zephyr. He can easily take out these Zealots, no problem whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, TT1's in a ton of trouble. He doesn't even have... what does he have? 3 sentries at the natural. That's it. And, you know, those couple Stalkers that are, you know, moving back from that attack. He's got a Robo, and he will be able to make an Immortal, but I somehow seriously doubt that'll be enough to deal with this many roaches. Yeah, this is just too much stuff. That Forge is going to go down, and then Zephyr's going to be able to walk right up into the main. There is enough force field here to kind of keep the roaches out until this Immortal pops, but it's going to be... there's just so much stuff. I mean... Yeah. I mean, he's not even waiting for Tunneling Claws. Tunneling Claws is on the way, so he would be able to just burrow into these force fields, but he's not even going to bother waiting, and it's a good choice. He can just continue attacking right here. There are a lot of sentries, drop down a lot of force fields, so they're kind of keeping the roaches at bay for the time being, but as soon as those force fields run out, it's just going to be game over for TT1, and there he allows a lot of those roaches in. That's going to be able to target fire down those sentries really easily. There is an Immortal doing a ton of damage, though, and Zephyr is actually not target firing it, so he just took a ton of damage on those roaches from that Immortal, and that actually allowed TT1 to stay alive there. Yeah, TT1 does live for the moment, but he's still in the same position he was in 5 minutes ago. He's got no map control, and he can't do anything to stop Zephyr from droning. Now that Zephyr has... Go ahead. Sorry, I was just about to say, he's been producing nothing but Immortals out of this Robo, still no Observer. Now he's added on the Forge again, but I was really worried there that since Tunneling Claws is about to complete, I was worried that we might just see like a Burrow Roach, you know, walk up the ramp thing, you know, out of vision range of the cannon. But not lucky that Forge will be down there. But yet again, I mean, he's not going to have any Observers with his army for another, like, you know, minute or so until that Observer comes out. So he's not really going to be able to be aggressive at all as these Burrow Roaches can continue to just re-burrow constantly. And as you said, Zephyr free to just drone right now. Look at 10 drones in production. Another Overseer. He's going to get Hydra range as well as +2 ranged attack. So he's going to transition to a very heavy Roach Hydra army. And with TT1 being as far behind as he is on tech, all he's really going to have to deal with this is Gateway units and Immortals. He won't have Colossi or Storm up in time. So all these Hydras are going to be really, really hard for TT1 to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. And now the real struggle here is Zephyr's on 3, about to be 4 bases. He'll take a gold soon. And TT1 needs to secure a 3rd, but he doesn't really have anywhere to go. If he pushes up to this gold, he's leaving his natural to expose. If he pushes down to that 3rd base, again, natural's to expose, that 3rd's too far away. And you see, Zephyr's just doing exactly what a Zerg player should do when in this position. He's just spreading his opponent out. A couple roaches at the back forces TT1 to pull his army. Now TT1 can expand to the gold, because if he does, then the second group of units in the middle of the map just goes and kills it.
Yep.
So I mean, this is really Zephyr's game to lose. TT1 is doing a good job though of retaining his army, keeping his supply close to Zerg, and kind of making it so, hey, I can maybe stick around if I get one really good engagement. I always say that about 170 supply is where Protoss becomes very, very difficult for Zerg to fight heads up, and TT1
Absolutely.
is closing in on that mark.
Yeah, once he gets to there, we've seen a lot of situations where Zerg players will macro up really well, but then, they'll just end up fighting against a Protoss engagement that's just strong enough that if they execute the engagement incorrectly, they end up just losing the game, even though they had a huge macro advantage. So yeah, Zephyr has to be really careful. He is maxed now, though. And TT1, as you said, it's going to be really difficult for him to take a 3rd. This is kind of why, not just the openness of the natural, but the layout of the 3rd is kind of why a lot of Protoss players don't like this map. Whether you take the lower ground or the gold, you're going to be very exposed, and as you said, very exposed to counterattacks as well. So he's going to try to take the gold, but I feel like there's nothing stopping Zephyr. He's just going to come in with an attack right now, and I don't think TT1's going to be able to defend against this.
Yeah, TT1's made a few too many Immortals. He really needed to get some Colossus tech out. This maxed Zerg army. Wow, it's really nice force fields from TT1. I feel like this max Zerg army should be able to roll over him, and now it's starting to kind of even out a little bit. And wow, Zerg just leaning hard on the Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, and TT1 was staying alive with force fields. It was just a matter of time. Now that the force fields are gone, there's literally nothing stopping these Hydras from decimating this army. Gateway units, not very good versus Hydras. Immortals are kind of okay, but not good in their own right. And look at all these Zergling reinforcements streaming in, and there's the GG from TT1. So our dream of having this, our foreigner hero TT1 in the finals has dwindled right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, man. So... God, the Hydra is just making such short work of the Immortals.
And they're +2.
Man.
Crazy.
TT1, man. I swear to you, I wanted to see him knocking out Zephyr and getting into the final. But I have to question his decision to go with Xel'Naga. I have to question his choice to fast expand here. And it bums me out to see him knocked out like this, because he played so well in the first game. He played so well in the second game. Just making basically a tactical mistake in that he didn't catch the Nidus, and then game number 3, man, just wasn't quite ready for the big style of Zephyr.
I feel like a lot of it came down to his map choice. It seemed, we were both kind of wondering, well, why did he choose this map? And it seemed like he did have a game plan in place, but I think if you have a map choice available to you, that's kind of like a resource as much as the decisions you make in the game are. So that decision should be taken very seriously. So I think if he had chosen, I don't even know exactly which maps are on the map pool, embarrassingly enough, but if he had chosen a map like Shakira's Plateau, for example, as his next map, I think he would have had a much better standing in this match, and it would have been just a better scenario for him to come back and win the series from.
Yeah. So, gosh. I
can tell you're upset. I'm sorry, but
so sad.
Yeah, it is for our foreigner hero. But we will be moving into our next semifinal match, guys. Now that is going to be Hack versus. Wait, now I'm trying to remember.
Versus Spades.
Let's check the. Oh yes, of course. How could I forget? Spades is so good. Hack, of course, so good as well. It's already won 2 TL Opens in the past, I believe. Just a really, really, really good. Korean Terran from Team Xenex. So we will be moving to that game after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with some awesome TVT action.